Good afternoon and welcome to our early March garden tour. You're gonna see some failures and some successes. We'll start with the little, what are these, whiskey barrels? They were looking pretty sad for a while, but now they're starting to perk up. Looking good so far. Got just a mixture of different things in there, some chamomile, some different flowers. And still, you'll see this arch. I haven't successfully grown anything up it since I put it here. But let's start on this side. When we go to the right, you'll notice this last time did not have the soil in it. This is where I had all of the pots of the peppers and tomatoes that I started inside, and when I was hardening them off, I just had them sitting in here. Those are now not in here, and I have planted some beans. So this whole bed is going to be green beans. They're bush beans. I had a few seeds from a seed swap thing that I joined that were called Painted Pony, and so those are just in this area here because I didn't have very many. And then the rest of this area is the Royalty purple potted bush beans. It'll be my first time growing those as well. I'm gonna plant I have honey nut squash and honey boat delicata squash. I have the starts that I started inside, and they're really young, but I'm gonna move them out here soon because I know they don't really like their roots disturbed. So I'll put one here and one there and have those climb the archway, hopefully. And then when we look at this, you'll notice this area is cleared out. I had the these gray little bed things here, but it was starting to feel cluttered, so I just took those out. This is, I think, 1,000 head kale. This is my first time growing this one, and I grew it from seed, and it is huge. But I pruned it back a ton, because you'll see when I get on the side, the carrots and onions that are right on the side of it are a lot smaller than the ones on the further side, and it's because they were being shaded, and I just thought a nice haircut would help. Plus, majority of my brassicas are bolting already since we've hit 80s multiple times now. So we've got our carrots, which you'll see these on the side are smaller. I don't know if you can really tell from that angle. These are a lot smaller than the ones on this side. The kids come out almost daily pulling carrots, as you can see the holes here. But they're getting some size. You can see they're popping their heads out the soil. And then we've got our red onions. The ones on the side are a lot bigger than these little skinny ones in here. I don't know if we'll get any bulbs on them, but they are the bulbing kind. You'll see this whole area is where we had the collard greens. Those all bolted, so right when I started to get a hint of them bolting, I removed all of the leaves that I could, cleaned them, threw them in the freezer, and then we took out the other plants. Same thing happened with the mustard greens that were here. So mustard greens were here, collard greens were here, and it's too warm. Moving on to this bed. This is our designated, well, will be our designated hot pepper bed. You'll see the stick looking ones are peppers that I overwintered from last year. I just cut all the leaves off and cut them down, and you'll see they're starting to come back to life. Some of them look like they're coming back to life, and then there's some like this that don't, so we'll see. But they're getting some life. And then these smaller ones are the ones that I had in there. And remember, they don't look super hot because I almost killed them with my excessive use of dish soap trying to get rid of the aphids. You'll notice I took out the dino kale that was here, that bolted. We've got our curly kale and our red Russian kale still looking good, but I did give them both haircuts. And then on this side, something big that you'll probably notice is all the Swiss chard that was in this area is all gone. That was the star of the show for the garden for me for, I don't know, months and months and months. But I transplanted it all over to where the cabbage is, because I have been putting shade cloth over that cabbage bed. And I was hoping to put the Swiss chard over there so that, one, I can make room for these peppers, but then also try and keep it alive for longer. And we will see if I was successful, how they're doing after the transplant. We'll see. They were pretty old plants, so I don't think that they were gonna like it, but we'll see. This is our wildflower patch. Sorry, my neighbor is moving his trash can back. So this is our wildflower patch, and it's starting to bloom, guys. Look how pretty these are. Every time I come out, there's like a new one that's opened up. This is that same purple one that's right there. But I can't wait for this to all be in bloom. But every day we've got more and more, so that's exciting. We've got our lettuce looking pretty good. I'm sure it's gonna be bolting at any time. My kids tell me that the lettuce looks fake because it looks too perfect. I'll take that as a compliment. And then we've got these three big tomatoes here in the front are Roma tomatoes. They're determinate tomatoes. Those are overwintered from fall, as well as all of these on the back wall. These are the indeterminate tomatoes. All of the tomatoes right here have been overwintered, so you can see I need to come in and clean them up. There's some leaves that don't look so hot. They're producing just fine, but on the cooler nights, I didn't really do what I should have to protect them, but that's fine. They're still producing, so I'll just clean them up a bit and they'll look better. Then we planted the tomatoes that were sitting in that other container, the seeds that I planted, and when I brought the starts out to harden them off, we've got one Roma tomato there. I threw some dill in between. And this is the other baby Roma. And then we're gonna walk through this tunnel here. You'll see these are my leftovers. This is my eggplant and some other things I'm trying to see if I can get to live. You'll see I did not plant my lemon or lime tree yet. Yes, I'm way behind on that. They should have already been in the pot. This area doesn't have anything in it right now, but I have cucumber seeds that have sprouted. I'm gonna bring them out while they're really young, plant them right here to have them grow up this side of the trellis. We've got our cilantro, still looking good despite the heat. Our parsley, still looking good despite the heat. This is heavily planted. These were seeds that I planted. So I might split this up and move it across, you know, split up throughout the garden. This is all cilantro from seed. You'll see this is a lot smaller because I just harvested it and made ceviche. This is all from seed as well. This was a start from the store, and you can see this one has been flowering. I've been trying to stop it, but the ones that grew here from seed seem to be doing a lot better. You'll see the basil that was over in the gray things over there. I put them over here. Those gray things don't drain, and we were getting some rain, so they were tired. The basil was getting really pale. I think it was tired of sitting in so much water, so they're over here now. I have them all split up. There's 5 different kinds. They still look pretty pale, but they seem to be doing better than they were over there. In the back, you'll see I planted my indeterminate tomatoes here. These are the seeds that I planted in December inside and then brought them outside. So those are overwintered tomatoes, and then these are our new babies. We've got rosemary and sage here. These I just threw in last minute because, again, they were in the gray container and I wanted to get those out of here. We're gonna back up a little bit. I'm standing in this tunnel. All right, so we've got nasturtium that's at the end of this sweet pepper bed is doing great. We've got two here, so we've got this light yellow and then that pink. I'm gonna stand on the other side so you guys can see. This is our sweet pepper bed. And wow, look at all of those white tags, but no green. Yeah, I killed all of my sweet peppers. All of my sweet pepper starts. That's in a different video if you want to see how I did that, but I did the whole, oh, it won't hurt to add more, and it definitely hurt. So you see the stick ones are kind of hiding in here. Those are ones that I overwintered, and then I've got a few baby ones that I managed to not kill in here. We'll see. On this side, all of these tags had peppers. This is the only one that I have currently. You might be asking, why did you leave all those tags in there? Well, because I'm still kind of mourning the loss of the damn peppers, okay? So I will take them out, and I'll find a different idea for this half of the bed for this season. But right now, I'm still mourning the loss of all of those peppers that I was really excited to try. Now, here is our cabbage bed, and look at our Swiss chard. Well, shoot. I guess it didn't like the transplant. I put them all along the back here, and then one right there. And look at, maybe they'll come back if I cut them way back, but I don't really know if they're gonna come back. This one might. Looks like he's got some strength left in him. Maybe I'll come prune them back pretty hard and let them recover. We'll see how that works. The shade cloth here is not great looking, but it helps protect the cabbage because I'm determined to get some cabbage. Will be my first time successfully growing it, and the only way that's going to happen is if I put some shade cloth up, because it's been hitting the 80s and cabbage and brassicas just don't like it, and I don't want them bolting on me. So we've got some nice head formation in here, nice and firm. We've got one here, one here, one here, and a smaller one here. And then we have our red here. The red has taken the longest to head up, but it's finally starting to head up, which is exciting. And then the taller plants are garlic. First time growing garlic. So we'll see how those do. Another change, I'm gonna go back to the other side here, make you guys nice and dizzy. We've got our fig tree, which was just a stick. I don't know, the last tour, I think. And look, it's come back to life, and look at all of its figs. It's crazy. Super exciting. Another new addition, let's not skip over this. So, here's my little seating area. And then you can't really tell right now, but all along here, I moved the mulch or the wood chips back, and I planted a bunch of, I think they're mammoth sunflower seeds in here. So I'm really hoping that this will form a nice sunflower wall to go up right here. So that's new. This is also new. I'm not loving how cramped the space feels right here. When the shade cloth isn't in the way, there's a path. It's just not as big as the rest of the paths in the garden. But in this bed, I have sweet potatoes for the first time. So I planted some sweet potatoes, and I started the slips. They're sweet potato slips. You don't plant the actual potato. You have the potato grow slips, and then you break those off and root them. So that's what I did here, and you see I have it just weaving in and out here. I have the DIY Oya thing I did here. I also have a video on that if you'd like to see how I did that. Another new one is in that seed exchange I did, I got some okra, and I've never grown okra before. So I did 2 seeds here and 2 seeds here, And they're supposed to be good companion plants with sweet potatoes. My main reason for growing the okra though, is not necessarily to get a ton of okra, but the flowers are absolutely stunning. So that's kind of what I wanted them for. Then we have our handy dandy potatoes. This was our first planting here. And remember, this is the one where we've got that random lettuce seed I threw on top before the potatoes came up. So I'm hoping to harvest this bag or check this bag the 1st of April. Fingers crossed for some potatoes. I did it in a bag, one, so that I don't have to dig. I can just lay a tarp out, flip the bag over, and the kids can dig in it and get the potatoes. This is our second planting, so this is smaller than this. But here's another round. Hoping to get some there. Then we've got our other bed, so there's our entry trellis here. And that's where I told you I put the other beans. This is beans as well. So we've got some peas. I have not had much success with the dang peas. I think I've planted 4 different successions of peas, and the only one doing anything is that one. I'll show you that in a second. This is where in the last tour you guys saw, I was ranting about the radishes. Everybody says they're so easy, and these have been in here for like 2 months, I feel like, and they're not doing anything. So I just left them alone and planted Blue Lake bush beans in this entire bed as well. And I'll put either the honey boat delicata or the honey nut squash here, and have it climb up this side of the trellis. But soon this will be popping. Beans will be popping out of here. If the radishes survive, they survive. If not, well, not really a loss, I guess. Now I'm standing back in the entryway arch here, and look at these nasturtiums. The Swiss chard was the star of the show when it was over there because the colors, it was just stunning. But look at these nasturtiums. Look at this. We've got all kinds of colors. It doesn't really show on camera, but this one is like orange, pink, bright yellow, more pink, like a deeper pink, same deep pink, and then we've got the light yellow over here. The nasturtiums are still in the show, and I'm not mad about it. Not one bit. Now in this used to be our flower bed. Then I changed it and decided I wanted it to be the berry bed. Right here are the peas. Those are the very first peas I've planted, and they're the only ones that have ever given us anything. And they're probably on their way out, but I'll let them produce as long as they are willing. And then in this bed, it's kind of hard to see because the nasturtiums are taking over, but we've got, right here is a pink lemonade blueberry bush, another pink lemonade blueberry bush, and then right here in the center is an O'Neill blueberry bush. And then if you look closely, we have strawberry plants all in here. The nasturtiums are kind of shading them out a little bit, so I might have to come tie these back. But we do have some strawberry. These were bare root strawberries that I planted in here. And I'm excited to let them take over this whole bed and let them shoot out their runners and whatnot. And then I've just got some green onions planted on the edges there. And that's it, guys. That concludes the beginning of March garden tour. So we've got some changes happening for sure. Prepping for spring. I guess by the next garden tour it'll be technically spring. When is spring? Like the 22nd of March or something? I'm not sure. So we are doing some prep for spring, and by the next garden tour I've got some pumpkin seeds started inside and some different squash. I've got some squash and zucchini inside that I've started, cucumbers, and then also a bunch of flowers. So I will be putting those out here soon. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. And let me know down below what it's like where you are, what you're planting, what you've had success with. And if you have any success with dang radishes, they just don't do it. I don't know what my problem is. Well, until next time, bye.